Hey, Salvador Brigman here, and today we're talking about what should you write about? What should you blog about? You've already started your blog or you haven't yet, and you're like, dude, I don't even know what to write about. I have all these different ideas that are buzzing around my head. Where should I go? We're answering all of that for you today. Okay, so this is super intimidating, right? Is to start a blog and to write on it, etc. I kind of want to go through what I think is a good decision criteria so that if you have different ideas out there, which ones you should hone in on and why this is the case. So I will level with you, man. I've started so many blogs over the years that I didn't even do anything with, or I wrote like 3 articles. I had a cup of coffee. I was really excited, right? And then I ended up just not even writing very much more on those blogs. And they just kind of fell by the wayside. I've had other blogs that I've stayed with for 8 years, right? And then I continue to write on to this day. And I was really observed and paid attention to my own emotions and why it is that certain topics I didn't gravitate to for a very long time and other ones I really latched onto. So there are so many things you could write about, right? You see, you go log on to the news, you see Google Trends or something like that, and you're like, I could write about that. I could start a blog about this. This is such a good idea. Maybe you have a drink or a glass of wine with your friends. You're like, I should start a blog on this. And you have these momentary highs, right, of emotions. It's like, I want to do that. And then you revisit that like 3 months later and you're like, maybe not, right? So this is kind of a way to cut through the BS and to figure out what is going to connect with your soul, what is profitable, and what has an audience out there. So you can kind of think of this as a Venn diagram, right? And in one part of the Venn diagram, you have your passion. And the other part of the Venn diagram, you have what people want to read online. And in the third part, you have what people are willing to pay for online and what people are willing to invest online. On the top part of the diagram, I think we all struggle with being a multi-potentialite, which is basically someone who has lots of potential in many different areas and is passionate probably about a lot of different stuff in life, right? So you have lots and lots of passions. And it's so important to be passionate about your topic and not be logical about it. And I'll share with you many examples where I was like, logically, I'm like, maybe I should write a blog about how to get a job, write resumes, make cover letters. And I wrote this blog, howtostartacoverletter.com, and it got traffic and stuff. And I was like, yeah, look, this is working. But emotionally, I just wasn't really passionate about writing about getting a job or pursuing different career activities. And other people are, but I just wasn't. And it wasn't enough emotional juice for me to continue writing about this subject. And over time, just kind of fell by the wayside, right? I decided to write another blog called Full-Time Passion or something like that, which is basically how do you take what you're doing, what you're passionate about, and how do you make money from it? And it was like interesting, and I was interested in it for a little while, but at the end of the day, I wasn't super into it. Like there's so many ways to do that, and it was too vague in my head, and I just was not really that interested, right? So I had passion for a little bit, but I didn't really think out these other elements, or I had the other elements, like logically, there are people who are doing this, there's a market. Logically, people would be willing to pay to have someone write their resume or have someone do these things, but I didn't have the passion for it. So you really need to have all 3 of these, right? So when it comes to passion, make sure you pick something that you think you are curious about. Curious is such an important word, and here's why. When you're curious about something, you're willing to research. When you're curious about something, it makes you want to go to work in the morning. It makes you want to find out answers, right? When you're curious, you keep searching, you keep learning, and you keep improving. I'm so curious about marketing. I still am to this day. I still always want to be learning about marketing. It's a really strong thread with what my current blog is, right? So being curious and being passionate kind of go hand in hand. You want to pick something that you're passionate and curious about and that you can envision yourself maintaining that level of curiosity and at least a degree of passion over the next 2, if not 4 years. And if you think that, you look back in your life and you're like, I've always been curious about this. I've always been passionate about this. I'm probably going to be in the next 4 years too. If it's something like, I only recently became passionate and like, I don't even know if I'm super curious, it's probably not as good of a niche. Now, the other thing comes with the market or the people that are reading this article. Now, I could talk about stuff that I am really freaking interested and passionate about, but that's a very small number of other people on this planet that are actually into those things, right? Or if they are, they're usually not online or they're not actively searching out things. So you want to have a group of people out there of what I call a market, right? Of readers who are actually searching for the blog content that you're trying to write. So you could write something really niche down that you're really passionate about, like, I don't know, rocks that you put and you make sculptures with when you're going hiking, and like start a whole blog about like rocks, right? Probably not that big of a market of people out there, or like pet rocks. Probably not as big of a market as you might think, writing a blog about learning how to make a pet rock, right? It just doesn't make sense. You might be really interested and passionate about that, let's just say, but when it comes to the market and people reading and looking for content to read on that subject, probably not as much. So you also want to pick something where there is a market of readers, that if you write something that's good and that gonna get their attention, that you will actually have enough readers to build a regular audience and a blog around. And of course, that's only if you're trying to become a professional blogger. You're trying to have this be either a significant income source or one that replaces your full-time job. The third part of this decision criteria is picking an audience of people that have money to spend and then are willing to spend money to solve those problems. Now, what's an example of an audience that has money to spend? Well, a great example would be people who are looking to get fit, are looking to lose weight, who are looking to burn fat, who are looking to build muscle maybe, get healthier. They're already investing money in things to actually solve those problems, right? They may be going to the gym, they're buying protein shakes, they're maybe investing in some kind of a diet fad like P90X or Atkins diet, or they're doing 90-day fasting, kind of that stuff, right? Or intermittent fasting rather, right? So they're already changing their life and they're already investing in products and that kind of stuff. So they have money to spend and there is an audience. If you also were passionate about this and teaching about this and delivering research to people or writing and penning articles on that, that would be a really good trifecta, right? In order to determine whether or not this is a good subject to write about. So if you check off these three components of the triangle and you're like, yes, I'm passionate, yes, there's a market of people out there, and yes, there's money to spend, or other advertisers would want to reach this demographic of people, that's basically the equation. You should then pursue that niche and see how it goes. Whenever I have followed this triangular diagram approach of having these three components line up, I've done a good job, because that meant number one, I'm still writing a blog to this day. I'm regularly putting out content. I'm still passionate. I'm still curious about the actual topic that my blog is about. And that is so important for you to stay with it, right? And number two, there's a lot of readers out there, people that are actually discovering my blog. The audience is big enough that I can actually get a small piece of that pie. And that small piece might be thousands of visitors per month, right? So there is an audience out there of people. And if I'm writing articles, it's not like falling on deaf ears. As long as I do it right and I promote, I'm going to get a portion of that audience onto my blog. And the third part, obviously, that these people have, to a degree, money to spend to solve problems in their life. And that's really how you monetize. That is how you make a living out of being a blogger. You make a living out of being able to provide education and teaching to people around the world. Is you need people who are willing to spend money to solve different problems in their life. And you are providing content to that audience of people who are actually willing to then maybe one day pay you for a book. They might pay you for a course that you create. They might pay you for an affiliate program, product that you recommend. They might pay you when it comes to services like coaching or consulting, or you might have other advertisers out there who are like, I want to reach these people, put my supplement on your blog and pay you for an advertisement, or pay you to do a guest post, or pay you to do a newsletter promotion. And then it's like, okay, I have a valuable group of people who then other people want to reach. Therefore, I can actually make money at this blogging thing, doing other stuff than just having banner ads. Now, let me just preface this video with one last thing, that is that what I'm describing, this like trifecta, this triangle, is good if you want to make a living blogging. And it's good if you really want to focus on not just making this your passion or your hobby, but really making a healthy income stream from the blog. If you're not interested in doing that, you can literally not pay attention to me, right? That in that case, it's a hobby for you. Like, you like doing it, you enjoy it. Do what you want. It's more of an art, right? It's more of something that you're doing for fun than something that you actually are trying to make money at one day. If you just want to write and enjoy it, and I actually have blogs that I just enjoy writing and putting out content. I like talking about spirituality, like those kinds of things. That's fine. It's a hobby. Just don't expect it one day to instantly transform it into like a money-making machine unless you have these 3 parts of the triangle that you've checked. Hope you enjoyed today's YouTube video. My name is Salvador Brickman. Give me a thumbs up if you did. Come subscribe to this YouTube channel if you want more content like this, and leave a comment down below if you want to, if you have any questions, you have any things you want to add to this video, would love to hear from you, and check out some of the links in the description.
If you found this video helpful, please click the like button below and subscribe to our channel for more useful content.